Guys, leave everything that you're doing currently and just go and read Kaiju number 8. I've been telling you all since the last 1 year or so that you need to read Kaiju number 8, and I know that I've not been able to do weekly reviews for this series, but oh my goodness, this chapter was amazing. This was so damn good. This was pure, unadulterated action shonen or battle shonen at its best. Sure, it was not something intellectual. Sure, it was not something too complicated that will make me go like, this series has definitely changed my life. No, that is not the case. Sure, in the initial couple of chapters, Kaiju number 8 managed to captivate me because of one particular aspect, which is not very common in shonen at the very first place. But in spite of all of that, this particular arc has been nothing less than spectacular. This is pure adrenaline rush, and you absolutely need to read the series. Now, a lot of people will tell me that this series is based upon a lot of cliches. I know, this is not the most intellectual series that you can read up on the internet, and it's fine. This series is literally a love letter. The very name Kaiju refers to the tokusatsu genre, and I'm proud that this series embraces all of these things, and in the end, it gives its own spin to the genre as such. Now, Hibino Kafka, my goodness, he was so damn good here. And I know I'm just getting speechless at this moment, and I really did not think that this week was going to surprise me anymore. After we got the chapters from My Hero, One Piece, Black Clover and all the other shonen, I was kind of not expecting to see anything more than that, but here we are with Kaiju number 8, chapter 31, which has really blown away my mind. Now, essentially I'm telling you all this chapter was very simple, but it relied on a couple of tropes which has been tested to be a very effective measure, and it not only provides build up to the series, but it also justifies the actions that are done by the characters here, and is perfectly executed, and the art here was just simply gorgeous. This is outright wallpaper material, and if I have a little money, I am going to frame this particular scene because it is so damn good. Now, there were 2 double spreads here, and also I'm telling you guys, this is 15th of April as of the recording of this video, and I'm telling you today itself that when this series eventually gets an anime adaptation, a good anime adaptation by a good studio, it's going to break records. It is absolutely going to break records. Because the story is simple here, it is going to be understood by everyone, although it has its nuances, and it also has its darker aspects, which I'm pretty sure are going to be explored in the future of the series. But in spite of all of that, this is pure unadulterated battle shonen at its best, and this is going to do wonders when the anime adaptation eventually comes for this series. So I am really looking forward to all of that as well. Now, with that being said, chapter 31 had 2 double spreads, and both of them looked absolutely gorgeous here. Now, this chapter essentially deals with the aftermath of Mina blasting away the Honju, and now the threat is finally clear and the characters are finally getting up, they are reconciling among themselves, and Kafka is crying here saying that, oh, this is so freaking cool, I wish that I was also a part of this trio. Basically, Captain Ashiro, Vice Captain Hoshina and Private Shinomiya, all of them are saluting each other at this moment, because this is a job well done. But unbeknownst to them, there is something very sinister which is happening in the background, which is revealed in the first double spread of this chapter, and as we can see in the top, there's a huge, absolutely huge horde of kaiju bombs that are currently on the sky, which are about to explode, and this really has the power to take down the entire area as such. And the defeated Honju says here to Hoshina that looks like this is actually a draw here, because prior to its defeat, it had actually called this particular thing. Now here I'm kind of interested to see how exactly this unfolded. What was the power of this Honju and how did he manage to do something like that? And will Kafka eventually be able to do something like this or not? That is also a big question that I have at this moment. But that is not the most important point here, because all the 3 characters are thinking what they can do here. Mina is telling the troops to fall back because this is going to be a huge explosion that they are probably not going to avoid at this moment. But while they are adjusting to the situation, while they are trying to do their best, behind them something happens. Something very huge happens, because Kafka starts running from behind them, and everyone is absolutely taken aback by all of this. Shinomiya obviously knows the truth about Kafka, but even she's kind of taken aback by all of this because she knows that if he transforms in front of them, he's going to be put away after this battle is over, so that is a huge gamble on his part. Moreover, Hoshina also notices something very interesting here, that how is Kafka even able to travel so fast? He's just running off at such a fast pace. How is he even able to unleash such a power when he has just unleashed 1% of his combat power? This kind of a movement is not humanly possible, and he kind of has a flashback at this moment, and to all of this, Kafka says that I'm sorry, Vice Captain Hoshina. And after this, boom, 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 baby, boom. I'm just speechless. I am honestly speechless. The second double spread of this chapter. Whoo. Just look at this. This is beautiful. This is A1 tier beautiful. The art is gorgeous. The paneling is gorgeous. You see, I'm just stammering here. I just can't say anymore. This is just beautiful. Kafka transforms into Kaiju number 8, the namesake of the series, Kaiju number 8. And the juxtaposition of the moon and the background makes this transformation even better, and the shockwave is so huge here that even the clouds are breaking apart at this moment. This is beautiful. Now here this transformation didn't exactly happen in front of the three characters, but I'm pretty sure that they are understanding what happens here, because information comes from the back that a super giant kaiju reading has been detected in the center of the base. The fortitude is 9.8. This is indeed Kaiju number 8. And at the end, Kafka is having a stare down at that bomb. This looks fearsome. This looks amazing. I'm just stammering for words. I'm not able to speak the correct words here because I'm so damn hyped. You know, honestly, if I knew that this chapter is going to be so hyped, I should have made a reaction video to this, because the moment Kafka transformed, I was just beating my chest in excitement because, yeah, I know I'm weird. I do this kind of an action when I'm extremely excited after reading or watching something. I'm weird, but I don't care. This was so damn good. And that is basically the end of this chapter. Now here I do have a couple of things that I want to talk about. Firstly, the cliches. Yeah, I'm sure that this is not the first time when something like this is happening, that the hero is rushing and jumping to the scene. This straight up felt like a comic book moment, not just a shonen moment, but rather a comic book moment. I felt like this was such a Captain America-like scene where Captain America, Steve Rogers, jumping into the scene to save others without having any second thoughts whatsoever. This is very, very, very similar to something like that, because here there is no moment of hesitation from Kafka here, because he knows that he has to save these people. There is no roundabout way of hiding his power at this moment. If he does not do anything at this moment, they are all going to die. From his childhood friend Mina to everyone else, all of them are going to die, period. That is the intensity of this situation, and he took action against it, he took charge upon it, and he just went into the scene head on. Sure, this is kind of similar to, Deku rushing into the scene where his legs started running on his own. But even more than that, I think that this scene is pretty nuanced, because here at this moment, Kafka knows the gravity of this situation. On one hand, if he does not do anything, they are all going to die. But on the other hand, if he actually does anything, he is going to be targeted, imprisoned, or even killed for the sake of scientific experimentation and research. He knows the risk at hand, but at the same time he also knows that he has been a failure his entire life, and how he was not able to keep his end of the promise which he made to Mina all the way back in the childhood days. So now this was his moment to take action, and he did that perfectly in a spectacular manner. Now I'm pretty sure that even if Mina didn't actually see the transformation, but I'm pretty sure that she is still going to understand what exactly is going on here. And after reading this chapter, it is pretty evident that Hoshina has definitely understood what is actually going on here. And I'm just thinking, after this chapter, are we going to see a dynamic like Levi and Eren between these two characters? I hope that is the case, and I'm really excited to see that as well. And on the topic of Eren, this particular kaiju transformation, I just automatically imagined this scene having Eren's Attack Titan roar. And just thinking about that gave me shivers all over my body, because this was so damn epic. I know that I'm repeating these words a lot in this particular review video, but I'm sorry, I'm just too hyped at this moment to talk about all of these things. And now at the end of the day, the question is that, how is Kafka going to deal with all of these things? To be very frank with you all here, I don't think that this is going to be prolonged as such, and he's definitely going to one-shot this entire thing in a One Punch Man style battle. Serious consecutive punches by Kafka are coming very soon, and it is going to be one hell of a smackdown. Because after all of this, I'm pretty sure that the next arc is going to deal with the aftermath of Kafka's transformation, because the bandit is finally off, and some of the most important members here have finally found out the truth about Kafka, so it is going to be very interesting to see where the series leads from this point onwards. So these were some of my thoughts in relation to Kaiju number 8, chapter 31. So what do you guys think about all of these things? Please do let me know in the comment section below. So that's it for today guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more. Also, please do join the channel membership for some very cool perks and features. With that being said, this is Wonder Wisey, and I'll see you soon in the next video.